times the speed of it heading east plus.
What do we want to do? All right. So there's two ways. There's two ways to add vectors. We can add them geometrically. What's the other way to add them?
Break it down to its x and y components.
Break it down to x and y components and add those together. That's the way I would do this problem. All right. So I would say, so if I want to find velocity of v, I can do all this in the x direction, all this in the y. So what's my logic? I'm going to add the x direction together. I'm going to have velocity in the x direction. So I'm going to add my x's, and I'm going to have some velocity that's in the x direction. Then I'm going to add my y's, I'm going to have some velocity in the y direction. So I'm going to get some answer that has an x and y component. And then from that, I can figure out what the vector is, because that's just going to be the x and the y. That's just going to be Pythagorean's theorem to figure out. If I know Vx and I know Vy, Pythagorean theorem gives me this one. And then I can find the angle that it makes there by, if I know it, the way you sine and cosine, so I kind of just find that stuff out. So the trick to this problem is you have to now break this thing up into x and y components. So let's do that. So if I'm talking about the final velocity in the x direction, is going to be this velocity in the x direction, which is what?
100.
100. 100. What's this going to be in the x direction?
It's going to be minus 10 times sine 30. That's what it's going to do.
Or cosine of 60, the same thing.
All right.
Right? And that'll get my x component. What's my y component?
It'd be 0 and plus 10 cosine of 60, or 30.
I get my y component.
And then I squared both of those and took the square root of that.
Because you use the Pythagorean theorem to find, because what do we have here now? This is telling me what this vector is in the x and y. So this is giving me a x component and I have a y component. So I need to just, so I'm trying to find this guy. So that's just Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's why you took the square root.
That x, the x is negative because it's going in the opposite direction, right?
Yes, because this 10 is going to the left, because we define right as positive, left is positive, up is right is positive, left is negative, up is positive, down is negative. All right? If we come over here, and we can find this v easily, because we know that vx squared plus vy squared is going to equal that v squared. So v equals the square root of vx squared plus vy squared. All right? And now if you want to get your angle, a lot of ways you get your angle now, right? My angle theta here, if I know vy and vx, I might just say the tangent of theta equals vy over vx, total, right? Opposite over adjacent. And then therefore the inverse, therefore theta is equal to the inverse tangent of vy over vx.
That's how I got the heading. So that was what they meant. Because for the first one, the ground speed, I used Pythagorean theorem like that. And then it said, what's the heading of the plane? So that's why I got that. They meant the angle.
That's what the head of, where's the plane heading? What's the direction? All right, and then that answer would be whatever north of, so if you got this answer, it would be that north of east. East is to the right, and this would be north of east.
That was one of the questions on the homework though, and it was, no matter what answer I put in, it didn't seem to make sense. So the question was something like, it says, what is the heading of the plane with respect to the ground? Let 0 degrees represent due north.
Okay, so
90 degrees represent due east.
all right, so they told you now that 0 was up here and 90 was over there. Right. So if I got an answer for theta here, my answer would be 90 minus theta. So this is theta. The answer in heading would be 90 minus theta.
Okay, what about if, like, so the question that we were involved with, it was actually south of west. I had like 12.5 degrees south of west, and it was saying that, and yet when I put in, you know,
You add 180 over the ground.
South and west.
yeah, it's that one. So let's say it was 12.5.
And they still had 0, 90.